Hi, everybody. I'm back to talk about another book that I read this summer, along with events that happened in the summer with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. I decided it's time for me to read some more diverse literature myself. And so one of the books that I read this summer was called Ghost Boys. Now, I'll go ahead and say from the outset that I think this was a great middle school book, and I teach elementary school. It would be appropriate, I believe, for my fifth graders, but if you're below fifth grade, it might not be the right time for you. The content is heavy, and I think the author, Jewel Parker Rhodes, handles it in an appropriate way, but it is some heavy content, and I think that it's more of a mature topic because you need to be able to understand some of the nuances. She does a good job of presenting both sides in this, but I want to go ahead and share with you the table of contents because it's got a unique format. So every other chapter alternates, or section alternates between dead and alive. And so the book does start with dead. Jerome, the main character of the story, is narrating the story. He died. He's dead at the beginning of the very story. So there's no mistaking what the outcome of this story is. That the outcome is told to us at the very beginning. And then after that goes back to alive to kind of take us back in time to see what were some of the events that led up to this, and then back and forth. So as we look at the table of contents, you can see dead and alive. So Jerome is now a ghost boy, and that means that he is able to see what is happening around him. He's painfully able to watch his family grieve his death, and he's also able to see other ghost boys. For instance, he's able to see Emmett Till, and he actually meets Emmett Till and gets to have a conversation with Emmett Till. So for those of you who might not know who Emmett Till is, he was a boy like Jerome who was killed by police, I believe in the 1940s. I should have looked this up before I started the video, but so there are parallels between their stories. There are also parallels between Jerome's story and that of Tamir Rice, who was killed in Cleveland, Ohio, several years back. So when I say that it's balanced in some ways, so there is a character who is the daughter of the police officer who shot Jerome, and she's grappling with some difficult emotions through all of this because she's able to see Jerome even though she's alive, and she's able to have conversations with Jerome. So she's very understanding and sad about Jerome and what happened to him, and that her father did this, but she loves her father. Of course she loves her father. She believes and her father is a good man. So she's just really struggling to understand and to kind of put all of these pieces together, like how a person can be more than the sum of their parts, possibly. She's really struggling. But the question of, and so that I said that there was a parallel with Tamir Rice, and that is partly because Tamir Rice, which was a young boy who was shot by police because he was playing with a toy gun. That's kind of the same situation with Jerome, is he had a toy gun and it did look real, and but it wasn't actually a lethal weapon. So I don't want to read any of the story to you because I want you to decide on your own if this is the kind of book that would be something you might enjoy. I feel like I've told you enough. But again, for fifth grade and up, I think it would be entirely appropriate. But younger than that, it might be something that's a little bit heavy in content. But it is a great read, and it's definitely worth the time to read. And it is a book that's available on Thora. I listened to it as an audio book over the summer. I enjoyed reading it that way, but it's available on Thora as both a book that you can read to yourself and as an audio book. All right. If you don't read that one, I hope you watch one of my other videos to look for something else that you might enjoy reading. Bye.